Seemingly, he's caught. Put up the picture for a mass suspect arrested in the horrific assassination, as they're calling it, of the UnitedHealthcare CEO. Luigi Mangione has been charged with murder in last week's deadly shooting of Brian Thompson, CEO of UnitedHealthcare. The 26-year-old, who was identified earlier as a person of interest, was arrested on firearms and other charges in Pennsylvania after being spotted at a McDonald's in Altoona. During the manhunt for the suspect, officers claimed they found him with fake identification, a weapon similar to the one seen in video, and a manifesto talking about the healthcare industry. So officers in Altoona arrested Luigi Mangione on unrelated charges at a McDonald's there after a customer alerted an employee who then called the police, according to the officials. Quote, a Pennsylvania resident saw something early this morning at McDonald's and said something to our local police. Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro said, praising the resident as a hero. The officers questioned Mangione, who was acting suspiciously. According to court documents, the Altoona officers found him sitting at a table in the back of the McDonald's, wearing a blue medical mask and looking at a laptop with a backpack on the floor near the table. When the officers asked him to pull down the mask, they recognized him from photos released to the media. Quote, my partner and I recognized him immediately, Altoona Patrolman Tyler Fry said, told reporters during a news conference Monday night. Quote, just from what we saw in the media with photos, videos, we just did not even think twice about it. We knew that was our guy, end quote. When the Altoona officers asked Mangione for his identification at the McDonald's, he gave them the New Jersey ID, according to an affidavit submitted with a criminal complaint. When one officer was checking the ID with dispatch, the other asked Mangione if he had been to New York recently. And that's when he became quiet and started to shake, according to the affidavit. That really invoked a physical reaction from the suspect. Altoona Deputy Police Chief Derek Swope told reporters Monday night, quote, he became visibly nervous, kind of shaking at that question, and did not really answer it directly. So that statement alone really said a lot. And the suspect did not have to say a lot after that question to show that, he was very nervous at that point. Mangione provided his real name after he was told he would be arrested if he lied about his identity, according to the affidavit. When an officer posed the question, why did he lie about his name? He allegedly said, I clearly shouldn't have, end quote. Let's put it up. Officers did find a gun and a suppressor that were consistent with the weapon used in the shooting of Thompson. Police said the gun found in his backpack appeared to be a 3D printed ghost gun. Conservatives love those, by the way, with a loaded Glock magazine, clothing, and a mask consistent with those of the suspect in the case were also recovered, according to the police. Mangione allegedly went dark in the 6 months prior to the shooting. He was in regular contact with friends and family until about 6 months ago, when he suddenly stopped communicating with them. He had been suffering from a painful back injury, friends said, and then went off the radar, prompting inquiries from friends and family. In July, one man tagged a social media account that appeared to belong to Mr. Mangione and said he did not, or that he had not heard from him in months. Quote, you made comments to me for my wedding, and if you can't honor them, you made commitments, to me for my wedding, and if you can't honor them, I need to know so I can plan accordingly. The man wrote in a now deleted post. So he was charged, obviously, on Monday evening with 5 counts in Pennsylvania: forgery, firearms, not to be carried without a license, tampering with records or identification, possessing instruments of crime, and false identification of law enforcement. He's expected to be extradited to New York to face charges there. The authorities told CBS New York that the process could take days, possibly weeks. The reactions have been mixed, with some surprised that the suspect shooter is an amateur. Janine Pirro stopped Jesse Waters after he implied that the fate might be waiting for him in prison. Here it is.
I don't think anyone's ready, Brian. Maybe you are, Brian, in a different way. But this guy's not ready. He's way too soft. He's going to get annihilated on the inside, and good. If he's not going to get the death penalty, maybe someone will do him justice behind bars. That's all I have to say about that.
You should stop there.
Right? People say that a lot.
Yeah.
Right?
These guys are something else. Here's the dynamic. It's very sad, isn't it? The death of a CEO. There are some people who are celebrating this. I do not agree with that. I take the philosophy of Dr. King when he said, you cannot use darkness to eliminate darkness. Only light can do that. You cannot use evil to eliminate evil. Only righteousness or good can do that. There's an us and them mentality, of course, and you all, those who care about life, you all are the light bringers to the world. You bring light to the world. Never forget that. There's a reason why you stand opposite of their ideology. In the midst of fighting them, do not become like them. They win in that case. We have to remain properly attuned to the reason we care about life. The industry of healthcare is a scam. People have been paying into a system that, one, is unaffordable. Two, don't fix a damn thing. They barely engage in health management, much less health itself. The system is holistically broken. The system would prefer us to blame people who are pawns in the industry or the system of healthcare. The reality is, even those who make a little bit of change, a little bit of money, they are pawns as well, willing more so than others, but still pawns. All right, Sharon, thoughts here?
Yeah, I'll start with the healthcare industry. Tom Hartman, a popular radio host of Progressive, has explained its history in racism all the way back to a German import, if you will, a gentleman who became quite popular and went on to work for Pfizer and others, and talked about how if you just underinsure, don't insure Black people, they'll be dead in a couple of decades. He was just sure of it. And we're still dealing with the same system today. I agree with you. Taking the life of Brian Thompson, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, you become what you despise. So Dr. King was right, and so are you, Dr. Richey. I will say this, one other caution for the media who wants to preach to people. You're getting it wrong when you say things about this suspect, like, but he was so privileged. He went to an Ivy League school. He was at a prep school before that. He was the valedictorian, as if only people of lesser means can commit heinous acts, allegedly. But then that's what the elites in the media do, talk down to people and spread stereotypes that harm others.
Well said. Great point. We'll bring updates as they come.